Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Anna Annette, Transformational Coach, creator of the BloomTika Method, and founder of Edelweiss Academy of Mastery, a pioneering company blending deep psychology, business strategy, and energetic mastery to help leaders, teams, and individuals unleash their authentic greatness. Anna, welcome to Founders Future.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It's really an honor to be here with you.
I am excited to dive in. I always like to start from the beginning. So take me back to before you started Edelweiss Academy. And I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, by the way.
Yes, Edelweiss Academy.
Edelweiss.
Yes.
Edelweiss. Take me back. What were you doing before you started it? And then what was really the motivation behind starting the company?
Thank you for asking. And yes, my journey spans over 25 years. And prior to forming Edelweiss Academy of Mastery, it was Edelweiss Group. The name is Edelweiss Group, but there's a company in India that has a similar name, or actually exact the same name. So I renamed the company to Edelweiss Academy of Mastery. And after I graduated from my MBA at Fairfield University with MBA in finance, I started working with a company teaching business simulations, and I worked as a consultant. And at that time, that's when I formed my own company. So it's been many years ago that I created Edelweiss Academy of Mastery. The idea behind it was to create a space with educational experiences. And when I started working with this company, Tri Corporation, and I taught business simulations with them, it was really magical how it all unfolded. I worked with them for 15 years and I loved the work. So this is where I learned how to teach. I learned the power of experiential learning. I learned how to create experiences, learning experiences that are highly engaging, highly impactful, and highly memorable. So participants remember their experience for actually many years. So it's like a wow experience. So this was the foundation of my teaching, the facilitation, and the idea of the Edelweiss Academy of Mastery unfolded and evolved into a space with different learning experiences for people in different places or different professional paths, different tiers or phases of their professional path, and also personal development. And the offerings inside Edelweiss Academy of Mastery also evolved over time as I evolved and as I grew.
Okay, very cool. I want to give the listeners more context into what the company looks like today. Start me off with, who would you say is your ideal customer? Who do you personally love to work with? And then from there, we can dive into the different offers and services that you provide.
It's a great question also, and the answer includes a few parts to it, actually,
Okay.
because my initial background, the first 15 years, really was with large organizations, Fortune 500 companies. So the depth of my experience is really working with organizations and professionals inside the organizations, and I love doing that work. So we have programs for organizations, for leaders and people at different levels inside the organization. Over a little before the pandemic, a couple of years before the pandemic, my path also unfolded into or evolved into working with individuals or business owners, entrepreneurs. So we have a suite of products for entrepreneurs and small business owners and coaches and consultants. And the third element is working with individuals directly as individuals, as human beings, wherever they are on their life and professional paths. Really, my passion is in all three because the methodologies and the things I teach, they are helpful, and not only helpful, they're quite transformational in all of the three areas.
Okay, very cool. So what does a typical client engagement look like? So if I want to work with you, what does that typically entail? Walk me through that.
It varies depending on where you're at. So if you are looking to work with us or with me as a small business owner, as a coach, as a consultant, for example, we first dive in and explore what it is that you would like to change or improve, or the breakthroughs you want to experience where you might feel stuck. So we explore those areas and we begin to, based on that, we define or design a plan or a path that's more suitable for you. We have different options. We have just single master classes. We have recorded programs with multiple modules. We have hybrids of, and the modules can be self-paced programs. And we have hybrids where you can work with modules at your own pace and time. And then we have in-person, not in person, but the one-on-one kind of connections. We also have some programs where there are modules that you go through and study and learn and apply at your own pace and time. And then we have some group get-togethers where I answer questions. And we have the traditional one-on-one. So we have different tiers and different levels to meet you where you are and what speaks to you most, also budget-wise, so we can be accessible to wherever people are on their journeys, budget-wise and also the time-wise, schedule-wise.
Okay, very cool. So it sounds like it's customized depending on the individual and the team and really what they need. Of these various different tiers, various different offerings, what would you say really brings in the bulk of the revenue?
The bulk of the revenue is one-on-one at this one-on-one engagements at this time. They are higher level investments. So if we think in terms of just the dollar proportions, one-on-one engagements would have the biggest share at this point.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. If they're higher prices, if they're a little bit more expensive, then obviously they would contribute to a bigger chunk of the revenue.
Yeah.
I'd love to shift a little bit to the back end of the business because I have a lot of coaches and consultants that listen to this. And fortunately or unfortunately, sales and marketing is a big part of running companies like this. So when it comes to marketing to start, how do you acquire your customers? What does the lead generation look like?
Excellent questions. And yes, sales and marketing can be challenging and very often the least preferred activity among the coaching and coaches and consultants, just because their passion is really working with people. And at the same time, we do have to learn how to market and how to sell, even if we work with a company or a person who does most of the sales and marketing, we still need to understand, because for coaches and consultants, when we are just starting out, wherever we are on that path, where we're not a Fortune 500 company, for example, it's still our energy, it's still our passion, still our understanding of our market, of the needs of the audience that we're working with. So in order for us to have that deep connection, we have to be pretty much engaged in the sales and marketing, at least understand how we need to communicate, how we need to engage our potential clients, and how we need to take them on this journey to see if that's the right fit and for them to really make that decision, make that investment. So on the sales and marketing side, my approach, and I've done tried different things. There are so many different strategies out there, and in the very beginning, working with organizations, it was pretty much either relationships, networking, or reaching out. And I did cold calling, let's say 15 years ago, I did cold calls. Nowadays, it's very different. And before the pandemic, we started to apply different online strategies for online sales and marketing. And some of the strategies didn't work. So I used webinars or I used challenges to get people to help people to experience working with me. That was actually pretty successful. But then we started having so many challenges and so many webinars, and many of them just not a very good quality. Many of them in the whole market space, many of them feel a little more manipulative than others. So it's really become there was a little bit of contamination, I would think, on the integrity side of marketing and selling. So we stepped away from doing those specific strategies of launching programs, and we just do content value marketing that is very empathetic, that is very high value driven, and it allows our audience to get to know the me and the approach and the philosophy and also my energy, my presence and the insights, and if it speaks to them. And then from that experience, they decide if it's the right, if they're drawn, if something speaks to them. And we have so many opportunities for them to also experience my programs at a very low investment, like masterclasses, which can cost like a few dollars, or there could be a donation-based programs. And then people reach out or people enroll on a website into our self-paced programs. One-on-one coaching is usually by request. So people request, and very understandable because there's personal energy, there's a personal connection. We need to get to know each other better. And then from that place, people make the decision of going forward with a one-on-one engagement.
Okay, got it. So it sounds like you started with webinar or before webinars and challenges, and those were successful, but eventually maybe they lose their efficacy and their effectiveness. And then now it's mainly organic content. And
Yes.
from there, you get them onto the kind of the value ladder where they start off somewhere lower end investment, they get a taste, and then from there, they request the one-on-ones. When you think of, do you ever plan on implementing different strategies in the future to maybe push specific offerings as opposed to others? What's the thought process with that? Because I know organic can be up and down. Not the most consistent, it's not always the most predictable. I'm curious your perspective on that.
Yes, absolutely. Now, in regard to strategies, I think there's so many strategies, like a zillion of different strategies, and we can have hybrids of different strategies. The
Mm,
key for me, and this is actually what I also teach when I work with, let's say, course creators, I teach how to teach based on my background, part of the offerings, is you really want to connect with what's true for you. And really be in your skin, be authentic, clear all of those self-doubts, and really tap into what's true for you, who you are as a coach or as a consultant, and how you want to create that experience, that journey for your potential clients, for the buyer's journey or your client's journey to start working with you or engage in your programs, engage with you in the first place. How would you like that experience to be? You want to understand your audience not only from a marketing perspective, but also from a learner's perspective. Who are they as a learner, as a coachee? And I have a special map for that to really look at it comes from my background of teaching and facilitation. So it's very important to understand your audience as clients, not just as marketing audience. And based on that, it's almost like these strategies, they unfold and they come together in the right place. So what happens in the current environment, there's so many different strategies and people are doing different things and people are pushing different things. This is the right strategy. This is the only strategy that works. And there's very high tendency to begin jumping from one thing to another. And we really need to tap understand, okay, why does this strategy speak to me? What I recommend, if something catches your eye or some strategy really speaks to you or stimulates some interest, I recommend to step away and don't jump right on it and start implementing it, but really understand what it is that draws you in that strategy specifically.
mm,
And then really assess, are you interested in a strategy and want to deviate from what you already have because of some self-doubt or fear or because of not getting results? Because very often it's not a strategy per se, but it's something on the inside. So and that's why it's very important to connect with who you are and clear the self-doubts. And then the right strategy unfolds, it speaks to you and you feel very confident, you feel excited, and maybe you get help. Maybe you begin to collaborate or work with an organization like Closers.io, for example, to help you strategize. However, the beginning place has to come from this place of knowing yourself and trusting yourself. The dangers right now and the risk in the coaching and consulting space is that we begin to jump from one thing to another from a wrong place, actually, from a place of fear and doubt, and someone is doing better. And when this energy is misaligned, a big part of what I teach is based on energy, your inner state, the harmony on the inner state. When the energy is misaligned, no strategy will work. You
yeah,
may get quick result, but it's not sustainable.
yeah.
And then people find themselves jumping from one thing to another.
Yeah, I think that's very powerful. I think that is something that not a lot of people talk about when it comes to sales and marketing conversations, is really tuning into what feels in alignment with you and not operating from a place of fear or scarcity. I love that you mentioned that. I think it's so important because when you are operating from a place of abundance, from a place of really being in tune with who you are, your mission, and the impact that you're looking to have, like you were saying, the right strategies will present themselves. And it's not like there's a one size fits all. I think everything can work if you try to make it work. And if you're coming from the right energetic place. But if there's shiny object syndrome and you're bouncing from strategy to strategy, it can be very difficult. I think that's very powerful. Now, for you, I'm curious if there are specific things that you, maybe practices or daily routines or whatever, to align yourself and to make sure you're not operating from a place of fear.
Absolutely, this is a part of my, this is like my Bible. I practice things every day, and then I teach these practices, not only for, let's say, connecting with whatever the sales strategy or the teaching strategy, the coaching strategy, the packages that people can create. And I work with professionals, not only the coaches and consultants. And it's a big journey. It was a long journey for me to get to a place of knowing how to harmonize the inside, because we get distracted, we get triggered all the time. And even if I find myself, I think I'm pretty good at restoring my balance, my place of center. And the same, we are unfolded all the time. We grow, we're meant to grow. So even for me, I always develop my ability to come to a bigger place on the inside. Definitely, there's a journey to create that home base. It's not something we do in one day. It's a journey to get to create that your home base. And then that home base begins to grow and elevate. So it's creating initial harmony between your mind, heart, and soul, clearing all the self-doubts, all of the old patterns and weights and stresses and things, and then learning how to elevate that harmonized inner state to be an energetic match to where you want to be, whether it's business, selling, or relationships with your team, relationships with the leadership, or creating collaborations. Again, and only in that case, we're coming from the right place, from that inner alignment. And yes, energy does work. The universal law is one of them, law of attraction, although I applied other laws as well, the laws of vibration, laws of transmutation. It's the foundation. So when we learn how these laws work, actually, we begin to create our business and impact we want to deliver into the world, the difference we want to make in the world, from a place of this energetic vibration and energetic alignment between how we feel on the inside and what that future that we want to create looks like and feels. So definitely my sales strategies and my approaches, they're all based on that alignment, even for myself. And my daily practices are releasing. Always, I'm in a very high state of awareness of where I'm at, how am I feeling, what's happening in my head. And it's always clearing. And I've come to the point where I find myself, I'm not actually thinking too much, because the minute I start thinking too much, I feel pressure in my head. And that's a signal for me that I need to drop in, listen to my heart, listen to my body. I use breathing exercises, not like breathing techniques, not necessarily exercises. And I use different methodologies. I spend a lot of time in nature, and I teach how to use energies of nature to create that harmony. So my routine is every morning. It includes every morning just realignment, getting back to my state of harmony, and then energetically aligning with my goals. What is my vision? Am I still connected to that vision energetically that I want to create? Throughout the day, things happen, messages happen, things may not go as you plan. Always going back to my home base. And then in the evening, also just release anything that got stirred up, anything. It's not that we are suppressing it. I teach how to release. It's not even part of your existence. And the beauty of the universal creation, it's not like we're achieving this state once and that's it. No, we have to keep working at it.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is that once you learn how these things work and you see how they actually create the impact that you want, you don't want to jump off that journey. You're just continuing the journey because it becomes like really magical and so much easier and so much more joyful, and you can feel the difference.
I love that. I love that. I think that's very powerful. One of my favorite not laws, but rules of the universe is attracts. So like vibrations attract like vibrations, like energies attract like energies. And if I want to get to my goals faster, I think in my opinion, the easiest, most fulfilling way of getting there is to energetically vibrate on the same frequency as whatever that reality is. Now, with that being said, I do want to be respectful of your time. What is the best way for people to reach out to you to work with you?
Thank you for asking. Via email is perfect. If we can share email, that's perfect. We do have a bunch of resources on the website as well. And when people reach out directly, it gives us an opportunity to really tune into what speaks to that person in this moment, where the pain points are, what's the most needed. Sometimes they don't know exactly what's happening, and we can guide the person in the direction of the options for getting to where they want to be. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. And for people that are listening, the website is Edelweiss Academy. That's EDELWEISS.academy.
Yes,
And
that's the
it is Anna at Edelweiss Academy. So Anna, ANNA, obviously at EDELWEISS.academy.
yes. I was very happy when I got the Academy extension for the website URL.
Yeah, awesome. Anna, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for doing just an awesome job and helping the coaches and consultants to grow their businesses and take their message out into the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we were able to go from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.